Hey everyone, how's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with another video. You know what this one's going to be about because I just can't help myself talk about this. Not just because of the result, but because of the aftermath and kind of how ridiculous it is. So, I think the first thing I'm going to talk about just is my personal feelings on the results of the election, right? How do I personally feel about Joe Biden being the president-elect now? My own personal emotion about it is I am mildly relieved that he is going to be the president come January. And why am I mildly relieved by that? Well, uh, basically, I feel that way because, I thought Donald Trump was an existential threat to Social Security. Not that Joe Biden is exactly great on that. If you look at his history and his rhetoric over the decades, he's not particularly good on that issue, but he is less destructive towards it than probably what Trump ultimately would have been. So there's that. And just a whole other host of issues. I feel that as much as I dislike Joe Biden, I do feel he is a far, far lesser problem than Donald Trump has been. In my opinion, Donald Trump has been a complete disaster, a complete embarrassment. The entire time that he's had any sort of prominence in our national conversation. Absolutely just a ridiculous cartoon character, and it is nice that we're going to have someone who actually has, who's not that, you know. But don't get it twisted. I don't think Joe Biden is great. I feel he's deeply corrupt, just as Trump. There's a million problems with Joe Biden that I can go on and on and on and on. He sure as hell is no Bernie Sanders. But anyway, that is how I personally feel about Joe Biden being the next president. I do think it probably was the better outcome of the two we could have got. So now let's talk about Donald Trump and how he's handling his loss by refusing to concede. And I'm also going to talk about the lawsuits and what a lot of just Trump voters think, right? So first of all, I'm going to start by talking about the ringmaster himself, Donald Trump. And the fact of the matter is, he knows he's lost at this point. He is just doing these challenges as political theater. A lot of people think that he's like this 4D chess master and he's 20 moves ahead and he's so brilliant. No. The guy has, I think, proven beyond the shadow of a doubt his entire presidency that he can't think more than 2 seconds into the future, if that. And he has the brain power of moss on a rock at best, although that might be an insult to moss. So, I disagree with that. He's just doing this, and Trump aides have admitted he's just doing this as a theater, to try to scam money out of his supporters, essentially. And that's what's happening. And I feel bad. Well, not really. I mean, because if you're dumb enough to give him money, I guess it's kind of on you. But whatever. Many, many millions of people have bought into the personality cult of Trump. In fact, two people that I personally know who are Trump supporters believe that, Joe Biden may or may not have really won. They believe that some of these lawsuits may do something. They think Trump still has a chance, even though he has none. Now, if we were down to one state where there was any sort of a debate or conflict or whatever, maybe we could get a repeat of the year 2000 in Florida, in Bush and Gore, where unfortunately it went to Bush, and we all know how that went. But maybe if it was just one state, something like that could have happened. But the fact that it's like 4 or 5 states, there's just no way in hell of, that it's going to come through for Trump. Now, I guess technically there is a chance, but I think it's more likely that some random supermodel is going to fall in love with me over the next week. So, if any supermodels are out there, you're interested, ladies. Anyway, let's get past that. The delusional thinking of Trump. What's really sad to me is the fact that there are 71 million people roughly in this country who voted for Trump even after a first Trump term. Basically, they saw what Trump was doing and they're like, yeah, we want 4 more years of that. I mean, I guess I could kind of understand it if you thought Biden would be even more of a disaster than Trump, but I just don't see that. In 2016, I understood his victory a lot more because Hillary was so terrible as well. And Trump was kind of an unknown figure, like politically. Like politically, we had no idea what Trump would do back in 2016. And he was actually giving some popularist rhetoric and seemed somewhat decent on a few issues that I would say appeal to, quote, the normal person, right? The average guy or gal. But since he's been president, he has done literally nothing that has advanced anything for, quote, regular people. He has governed simply as a extremely standard Republican, but with, you know, he's stupider, for lack of a better term, and he's much more arrogant, you know, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I could go on and on and on and attack his character, but that's pointless at this point. You know, and he's done nothing for regular people. So the fact that like 71 million people were like still brainwashed and still voted for him, I don't get it. I just don't understand how this time around that many people could think, hey, we want more of that. And I also recently heard a statistic, I don't know if this is true or not, like 80% of Trump voters don't believe that Biden legitimately won the election. And that is cause for concern. You know, that is a huge portion of the population. And the fact that that much of our society is that deluded is quite scary to me. It's not surprising, but it's scary. So, as a nation, this is something we're going to have to deal with. These people aren't just going to, you know, quietly go into the night. And this same base of people will be ready when the next Trump comes along. And that's really more what I'm worried. Rather than Donald J. Trump, I'm much more worried about the phantom Trump, right? And what do I mean by the phantom Trump? I mean someone who's actually similar to Trump, ideology, you know, maybe on positions in ideology and a few other things, but actually has like the intelligence and follow through to accomplish their goals. That would be terrifying to me. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but we will see. And don't get it twisted. If Joe Biden does not materially improve the lives of millions of people in this country, come 2024, we may get the phantom Trump. But of course, there's also rumors that are swirling around that Trump is going to run for re-election in 2024. And if he does, I'm sure he'll get the nomination. And who the hell knows what would happen in that election? That would be extremely interesting. It'd be a good show, but I don't think it would be good for America. You know, and now that Joe Biden is the president-elect, I think it is time for anyone who is not just a boring corporate centrist who actually wants change in this country, like positive change. We need to now view Joe Biden as our enemy. He is not our ally. Okay. We need to start putting pressure on him to adopt policies that we want, to try to get policies put through that we actually want, not just corporatist, centrist, neoliberal crap that will do nothing to improve anyone's lives except for the rich and powerful. We don't need that. We need something that's actually going to improve it for most of us. And we need to view Joe Biden as an impediment to that progress and as our enemy in our cause. So we need to start pushing on him, plain and simple. So that's basically it. That's my thoughts and feelings on this whole thing. I just had to kind of give a wrap to this election season. I do admit, though, it is funny watching Trump be such a little whiny beta bitch like he's going out. And yeah, it's good stuff. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I'm going to get some interesting responses on this, to put it mildly. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. As always, live longer, prosper, keep on rocking, and hopefully, eventually, maybe, the right thing happens in America. See you guys next time.